5 silenced shots pierced the quiet air of a Kyiv parking lot. The sharp crack of gunfire was barely audible over the city's usual bustle, but its impact was seismic. When the dust settled, Ivan Voronich, the Ukrainian Secret Service, SBU, commander, lay lifeless. This was a devastating blow to Ukraine's intelligence community and the country's ongoing struggle against Russian aggression. Yet, this loss was one Ukraine avenged swiftly and decisively. Putin had dispatched a highly trained assassination squad deep into Ukrainian territory with one chilling mission: eliminate Ivan Voronich. But Ukraine responded with lethal precision, wiping out the entire Russian hit team within days. Still, the killing of Voronich sent shockwaves throughout Kyiv and raised pressing questions about the future trajectory of the war. The assassination unfolded in broad daylight on July 10th. Voronich was leaving a residential building, carrying several bags, when a man suddenly rushed toward him. There was no warning, no struggle. Voronich was caught off guard. The assassin calmly pulled a silenced pistol and fired 5 shots, each one striking true. Chaos erupted in the moments following the killing as the SBU mobilized its top operatives and analysts to uncover the identity of the killers and how they breached security to get so close to such a high-profile target. Piecing together fragments of intelligence, CBS News reported that the SBU deduced the assassins had been given precise GPS coordinates of Voronich's location. This pointed to a possible leak within the SBU or an infiltration by Russian intelligence agents. The hit team didn't act impulsively. They had surveilled Voronich's movements for days, if not weeks, carefully mapping his routines and preferred routes. This thorough reconnaissance enabled them to strike with deadly efficiency in a seemingly secure area near the residential complex. The Kyiv police joined the investigation, deploying special forces, K9 units, and forensic experts to gather every possible clue at the scene. Press revealed that Lieutenant General Vasil Malak, the head of the SBU, personally oversaw the investigation. Under his command, the SBU launched a covert counterintelligence operation to hunt down the assassins. Though the killers initially evaded capture, their freedom was short-lived. On July 13th, news broke that the SBU had successfully located and neutralized the assassination team. CCTV footage released by authorities showed only one shooter, but investigations revealed the hit squad was a duo, a foreign couple working under the orders of Russia's Federal Security Service, FSB. Their names, Akani Gulizard, born in 1981, and Naiman Golva, born a decade later, were not officially confirmed, but were widely reported by Medoid Press. Within hours of the attack, wanted notices for the pair had been circulated, signaling the swift response by Ukrainian forces. The duo was tracked to a safe house in Kyiv, where a fierce firefight ensued. Both Gulizard and Golva were killed in the exchange. The SBU released a statement confirming the success of the operation, describing how the pair had operated under FSB orders to surveil and assassinate Voronich. The killers had been instructed to monitor Voronich's daily schedule and hand over detailed intelligence to their superiors, including exact locations and timings, before receiving the pistol fitted with a silencer. This operation demonstrated Russia's capability for well-planned covert missions, even amid a larger chaotic conflict, but Ukraine's rapid and effective retaliation showed its own resilience. Putin's hopes that his operatives would return from Ukraine to strike again were dashed. In a public message on the social media platform X, the SBU revealed footage from their raid, showing the bodies of the 2 assassins at the end of the video, an unmistakable message to Russia. What unfolded here was a stark example of the shadow war being fought parallel to the open conflict in Ukraine. While the headlines focus on tank battles and frontline advances, a quieter, more deadly struggle rages between the intelligence agencies of both nations. So far, Ukraine has been gaining ground in this shadowy battle, conducting successful covert operations that have crippled key Russian figures. But the loss of Voronich cuts deep. He was not just an officer. He was one of Ukraine's most skilled and experienced intelligence operatives, a linchpin in many of the country's successes against Russia. Medoid Press detailed his career as one that reads like a spy thriller. Beginning his service in the mid-1990s, Voronich worked closely with the CIA and American Secret Service, gaining technical support that enabled him to orchestrate several targeted assassinations of Russian-backed proxy commanders. One notable operation was the 2016 killing of Arsen Pavlov, known by his nom de guerre, Motorola, a key pro-Russian separatist commander in the Donbas region. Pavlov was instrumental in organizing the separatists who ignited the initial flames of war in 2014. His death marked a significant setback for Russian proxy forces. Voronich's involvement in these high-profile assassinations made him a marked man. More recently, Voronich was central to the planning and execution of Ukraine's Kursk counterinvasion in August 2024. Ukraine surprised the world by launching a daring offensive into Russian territory, capturing dozens of settlements and hundreds of square miles. This operation was the first successful Ukrainian invasion of Russian soil since World War II and represented a major psychological and strategic blow to Putin's regime. Kursk became emblematic of Russia's vulnerabilities and the growing prowess of Ukrainian intelligence and military forces. Voronich's unit was reportedly responsible for the initial border crossing and subsequent operations that laid the foundation for this watershed moment. His death will leave a significant void in Ukraine's intelligence capabilities at a critical time. His expertise, built over decades, was irreplaceable. Putin's fury over the Kursk incursion and Voronich's previous hits on Russian interests culminated in the July assassination. For the Russian president, eliminating Voronich was a long-anticipated act of retribution. But even with this success, Russia paid a heavy price, despite losing over 1 million soldiers in this brutal war. As per Ukraine's Ministry of Defense, the death of 2 operatives for the killing of 1 top Ukrainian intelligence officer is a costly exchange. The assassination signals a dangerous escalation in the shadow war. For the first time, Russia successfully penetrated Ukraine's highest levels of intelligence leadership. This will trigger intense internal investigations in the SBU about potential security leaks or insider threats. How did Russian operatives locate Voronich so precisely? Was there a mole, or was it sheer luck combined with meticulous surveillance? The public may never know the full story, but the SBU will relentlessly pursue answers. Following this event, UPI characterized the July 10-13 period as a brutal exchange between the secret services of Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine has delivered the deadliest blows so far, especially with recent operations such as Spiderweb, a remarkable assault on Russian airfields using drone technology. Spiderweb cost Russia billions and multiple aircraft, underscoring Ukraine's growing capabilities in electronic warfare and covert strikes. While it remains unclear whether Voronich was directly involved in Operation Spiderweb, his central role in many SBU operations makes it likely he was a key planner. Russia's FSB has since intensified efforts to track and dismantle Ukrainian spy networks, as evidenced by their arrests of Ukrainian agents in Crimea and elsewhere. Ukraine, in turn, has exposed and apprehended Russian spies embedded within its military ranks, including a high-level Russian operative who served within an assault brigade, relaying critical information back to Moscow. This ongoing cycle of captures, sabotage, and counter-sabotage fuels the shadow war, now entering a more volatile phase. Ukraine's previous successes in targeting Russian officials through car bombs, scooter explosives, and other covert methods contrast sharply with the FSB's limited effectiveness against Ukrainian operatives. The penetration of Kiev by a Russian assassination squad reveals a disturbing shift in tactics. This is no longer limited to frontline intelligence skirmishes, but involves direct attacks in the heart of Ukraine's capital. Though the hit squad was eliminated swiftly, the breach raises urgent questions about Ukraine's internal security and counterintelligence measures. Ukraine's rapid retaliation demonstrates the strength and professionalism of its intelligence community, yet the stakes are higher than ever. This assassination and subsequent counterstrike will likely lead to further escalation, with Ukraine expected to respond by targeting another high-ranking Russian official. Regarding the SBU, the loss of Voronich is monumental but not crippling. The organization remains a formidable force, and while no one can replace his decades of operational wisdom, The SBU will adapt by enhancing security for other key figures, including President Volodymyr Zelensky. The death of the assassins so soon after their mission underscores Ukraine's ability to detect and respond to threats quickly. This Shadow War's escalation adds a new layer of complexity to the ongoing conflict. Ukraine's advantage in clandestine operations could be bolstered further by new technology and international support, such as Japan granting Ukraine access to advanced satellite surveillance to track Russian troop movements, a game-changer in battlefield intelligence. As the front lines grind on with heavy losses in shifting territory, the battle in the shadows, marked by assassinations, espionage, and covert strikes, will continue to shape the war's outcome. The death of Ivan Voronich is a stark reminder of the high stakes and the unseen wars waged behind the scenes in Ukraine's fight for survival and sovereignty.